Hi, I'm Kristen White here in Irvine, California at the Be Legendary event where we feature experts from all over the world here to help you in your life and in your business. And here with me today is Allmand. He is a professional and an expert in helping you when you're facing something that can be, well, quite honestly, challenging your life, and that could be bankruptcy. Reed, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, what happens when you realize that you may have to file bankruptcy in your life?
Well, most people obviously don't want to file for bankruptcy, and so they put it off too long. And they're fighting with their spouse, they're losing sleep, they're worrying, and they may even be in jeopardy of losing their property. Their car might be up for repossession, their house up for foreclosure. And so when they finally take that step to ask for help, I want to respect that, and I want them to know that we're going to treat them with respect and we're going to treat them like individuals. And that's why we offer a financial empowerment training session where we're actually going to go through and look at their finances, what they're wanting to accomplish, and create a custom plan for them.
What are some of the signs, or should we say warning signs, that you need to file bankruptcy?
I would say that if you are underwater on your house, if you're behind on payments, there's basically 2 or 3 reasons why people most likely have to file for bankruptcy, and it's when they lose a job or interruption in income, illness, or divorce. And doing this has made me very humble because you know that you're only a heartbeat away from having to file, because you can't control if you get cancer, you can't control if you lose your job, and very few people have the savings to be able to, to sustain their quality of life.
So what's possible? We're not advocating filing bankruptcy here,
Sure.
But if that is something that shows up in your life, it seems like a course that you're going to take. What's possible beyond bankruptcy or as you're going through that process?
Well, most people are concerned about their credit, and they're thinking that if they file for bankruptcy 10 years after bankruptcy, they'll never be able to get credit again, and it's simply not the case. I don't know if you realize, but more people file for bankruptcy each year than get cancer or file for divorce. And so the reason for that is it's a huge part of the segment of the lending population that they just can't ignore. Also, you can't file another bankruptcy for up to 8 years after you file a Chapter 7. And so if you do a couple things right when you come out, like get a secure credit card, make those payments on time, typically the average client, 1 year after bankruptcy, their credit score actually goes up from what it was before they filed.
Okay, well, that's encouraging for people who think it's the end of their world for a decade.
Exactly.
So what types of specific services do you provide as an expert in this area?
Okay. Well, traditionally, if we're talking about somebody who's behind on a mortgage, if you're having trouble making your mortgage payments, if you're facing foreclosure, we can do a Chapter 13 repayment plan. And what that is we're able to take all those arrears that you're behind on your house, file the bankruptcy, which stops the foreclosures, an automatic stay in place. And then we can put them on a payment plan to pay that back over 3 to 5 years, in addition to a regular mortgage payment, which allows them to catch up and keep their property. Also, if you have a vehicle, bankruptcy is an awesome opportunity to basically restructure and almost refinance your car note. You may be eligible to just pay what the car is worth over a period of time at a lower interest rate, or basically refinance the terms. So in addition to dealing with all kinds of other debt. So there's a lot of exciting things you can do with bankruptcy.
It sounds like these are solutions that are not well known.
Exactly. I think that's true. And, most people, they get stuck. And they just think, I've tried everything that I can do. I've tried to get a loan. I've tried to do payment plans, and they're just not working with me. And so they don't think there's anything out there for them. But bankruptcy is a legal tool that allows you to do these things. And businesses know this. American Airlines, all these other people, they use bankruptcy as a tool to reorganize. And I want the average consumer to know that they can be empowered to do the same thing. And they shouldn't feel guilty about it.
Yeah, Americans love their credit cards. They just do. And especially we've gone through a tough financial time. And there's a lot of Americans that probably have more credit card debt than they even want to admit, right?
Absolutely.
Could you talk about some strategies inside this arena for people that find themselves, paying these huge interest rates on their credit cards and they can't ever quite get that principal paid down now?
Absolutely. Everybody knows the late charges, the interest, those things just make it impossible to catch up. And usually when you look and do an analysis and see what did you actually charge, the goods and services, the dollar amount for that, compared to what you've already paid in with minimal payments, you probably paid it back 3, 4, 5 times. Now, what we're able to do in bankruptcy is we can tell people, okay, we're going to start the line right now. Stop paying on those credit cards and stop using them. So let's just cut them up. And then we look at their budget and say, okay, well, they were spending $800 a month on these credit cards, and they were on the 30-year repayment plan. So why don't we take that $800, apply it towards bankruptcy attorney fees and court costs, and 6 months later, they're debt-free. And talk about reestablishing your credit. I mean, you get that fresh start, and then you have an extra $800 a month, so you can start cash flowing your life on a cash basis and not on a credit basis.
That's interesting. What would you say to someone who's like, that's just quitting, that's backing out, that's not paying your debts, and you're, basically not someone that's respectable?
I would say that if you believe that you can repay your debts, you absolutely should. And if, however, you feel like that you have done everything that you can do, and that you originally started out with a low interest rate credit card and things happen to you, you shouldn't do things out of embarrassment or shame. And I disagree. I don't think that people should take a third job. I don't think they should miss time with their family. I mean, these credit cards charge a huge interest rate on purpose, and the reason is because they make a lot of money doing it. And so I think that people should empower themselves to know their legal options. Now, you don't have to you don't have to pick a certain option, but you at least need to know what your options are, and then you can decide.
Where can someone find you and learn more about your services?
The best way to get a hold of me is go to my website. It's allmandlaw.com, and my name is spelled ALLMANDLAW.com, or they can call my office at 214-265-0123.
Thank you so much, Reed, for being here at Be Legendary and sharing with us your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you so much.